Here's 10 things you need to know about the 2026 Kia K4 hatchback. This example, painted in wave blue, is going to be the EX trim, and it's a step above base, or what I like to call poverty spec. So the first thing you need to know are the stats. So we got $26,275. That's the price of this. The only option that it does have is carpeted mats. It's going to be powered by a 2-liter naturally aspirated engine with 147 horsepower, 132 pound-feet of torque. It's going to have a CVT as a transmission. It's going to be front-wheel drive. So the EPA is 28 in the city, 34 on the highway. I've been averaging a hair under 33 miles per gallon. Kia chose to name it a hatchback. That's what we'll call it, even though it's a station wagon to me. But let's go ahead and take a peek at what we're working with here, starting with the trunk or the hatch area. Very spacious as a hatch in the compact market. Spare tire, what? Getting into the back seat, you're going to notice that the backs of the front seats, duck, although nicely designed, they have hard plastic backs. So if you got to sit back here and you're over 6 feet tall, maybe like 6'2", 6'3", you will bang your knees into that. You should also know that there are no rear vents back here. You got storage, but no vents right here. It has an excellent display. Very long, narrow, vibrant, crisp, fast. If you want to hurry up and listen to Jack Johnson, we can go ahead and get there. With the quickness, everything is lightning fast. One of the things about this display, so we got some temperature controls down here, but our main temperature controls are baked into the display up here. And it's slick that it's on the side of the steering wheel so you can see the temperature display. But if you want to change something like the direction of the air, you got to press this button up here, and that'll take you into the screen, which you can direct the flow the way that you want to go. High, low. I'm rhyming. I'm not even trying. Ooh, that, you can kind of make that rhyme. But you intuitively, you would think you can like just press on this image right here, but you can't. Only these buttons here if you want the rear defrost, the defroster up here, air circulation, AC, and auto. We do have some redundancy in the display. So our temperature, the fan speed, where we want it to blow high or low. The sixth thing that you need to know about the K4 is that it has a flat bottom steering wheel as long as a flat top steering wheel. This is something you normally see in race cars, and this is not a race car. Shout out to race car friends. This is a family commuter, and this is not fitting, but I like it though. Adds character. The seventh thing you need to know about the K4, and it's probably the most important thing, it is an extreme value. You get a lot of bang for the buck in this car. A lot of cars, there's not a lot of inexpensive cars on the market, and although this car is inexpensive, it doesn't mean that it's cheap and bare bones. You get a decent amount of features in here. You get heated seats, and mind you, I told you, this is the trim above the base model. You got 2 levels above that. We got the GT line and the GT, which gets a turbo engine in. It's very practical in the cargo area. The rear seats is comfortable. You got a nice amount of headroom, the most I've seen in the class. The car is stylish inside and out. And I prefer the hatchback over the sedan. It's got a lot of rear overhang on the sedan version. We got this cup holder area in which you want the practicality. You can get this big space up in here, put some of those giant drinks. Or if you just want a regular cup, you can press this button, boom, that comes out. Or if you just want the space, you can slide it on up in there. You get a wireless charger. It's a wireless charger. Is it a good one? Not really, but you got one. You get all that plus great fuel economy, and you got that 10-year warranty, so you'll save some money in your pocket owning one of these. Great value, excellent value. Now we're behind the wheel, gonna take it for a drive. Got 3 more things to discuss, and we're just gonna see what it's like driving it. So first things first, this has sporty looks. It's flat bottom and top steering wheel. Steering feel non-existent. Where is it? Feels like it wasn't programmed in here. So if you think you're getting like a sporty hot hatchback, this ain't it. It looks great, but this is more so for the people that don't care about driving dynamics. And that's okay, because everything else is good. Just the steering feel, it ain't there. The ninth thing that you need to know is that this car can coast for days. I don't know how or why it coasts like this. I'm not on the gas. 24 miles an hour, 25, start at 25. It just coasts for a long time. A lot of cars don't do that. This car, I noticed that the first day, like, damn, this thing can coast. Don't even got to add the accelerator to it. It can just be off throttle, and it just coasts on and maintains the speed for the most part. And while I'm over here, just going to go ahead, and this ain't on the list, just going to see what the turning radius is like. So I'm going to cut the wheel all the way. Great turning radius, so it's going to be maneuverable as well. There's the steering handle in the curve. These seats are very comfortable, but the steering, oh, you better slow down. Safety features on here are crazy too. They're not crazy, they actually do their job. So all the safety features for cars braking and you're not paying attention, it'll slow down for you. Pedestrians, well, they didn't let me know about that pedestrian. I'm just letting y'all know that pedestrian might not like his life walking across the street like that. And let me just go ahead and get it out the way. I mentioned the feature, but this has a nice adaptive cruise control system on here, better than some luxury brands that I had recently on here. So this adaptive cruise control also has a feature that'll keep you in between the lines. So on those long road trips, it comes in handy. Like, believe you me, it really does. So that's great that you have that on the car at this price point, which won't break the bank. For those of you worrying about damaging your rims with potholes, you might want to spring for the EX trim that this is. Got the 17-inch wheels on here, so more friendly for potholes. Speaking of potholes, riding on some uneven roads, soaks up the bumps really well. It's not too loud on the interior either. Don't got to yell over anything. Just smooth. This will be a great daily driver for people who just don't have to corner carve or a back road warriors. You can do that. You're just not gonna have a steering feel. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but super comfortable. This is a car for the masses, so I think they hit a home run with this car. And this is going to be direct competitors to cars like your Civic, your Corolla. I got a Corolla at the house right now, a GR Corolla. Not direct competitors, but the Corolla itself and the regular control Corolla it is. And this is way more spacious than that. And this even has a sport mode. And yeah, let me pull over and just floor it, see what that's like. Or not like, flooring it. So it takes a moment to accelerate, and then you can even slap this shifter right here and do some manual shifting. If you're on a downshift, this is a CVT, it's like one gear, but it'll do a simulated shift and it'll like lurch. You floor it. Oh, it wanted to do something. That's actually very responsive. Red line is like at 6,000. So if you want to have some fun, you can try. But that's not the intents and purposes of this car. It's a daily commuter. Stylish, comfortable, extremely great value. There's not a lot of cars that even cost the base price for one of these is like 22 before destination. So I'll just go ahead and say 24,000. So this is phenomenal value. And on here, you don't even have to have it in cruise control to get the lane assist or the lane keep assist. Everybody calls it something different, but it'll hold in between the lines without being in cruise control. I know Toyota does. They force you in cruise control to use that. And then might as well go ahead, slap on cruise control and show y'all how that works. So let me set my cruise control to something like 90 miles an hour. It's not going to just plow through this other Kia Telluride in front of us. It's going to keep its distance. And then if you want to ease on back a little bit, you can change the distance as well with the press of a button. If you want the farthest distance, it's 4 levels to it. Do that, kind of sags on back. So let me do the closest following distance. It'll be good. I did notice that it does get on the brakes a little bit hard when it needs to do so. So, hey, you be paying attention. This is not an autonomous driving feature. It's an assisted feature, so keep your eyes on the road. But it's got every modern feature that anybody would need, especially at the budget of this car. So I would highly recommend one of these. If you're a driver enthusiast, I recommend you spring over to the Civic, but this car has got the value. I think is just as stylish. The Civic is very high up on the list as well. I got a car like a Prius. I got a plug-in Prius. It was like $41,000 sticker price. This car was $24,000, and it's like the same size. Do you know how much gas I can buy with the $12,000 to $15,000 extra that I save? Longer than I'll keep the car, I'll tell you that. It's a very long time. This is going to be one of those cars to get one of the highest recommendations. One for everybody. Like, I don't see a reason to hate on this car. They got a couple different flavors. If you don't like the hatchback, because not a lot of people do like the hatchbacks, that Range Rover just backed into this Wow, they had an accident. Woo, so glad that ain't me. Why was you backing up at the light? Shame on them. My goodness, thank goodness that wasn't me. Now you got to get out the car. Let's pull up and see what happened. What they saying? All right, that's unfortunate. Why is he reversing at a red light, though? That's crazy. Now they got to pull over. But if he had one of these, how a Range Rover not have a rear view camera? Did you not see that? That's what I'm talking about. Value. This car has something that the Range Rover, this car would have stopped. It will literally stop you if you're about to hit something. I don't know that from experience, but it will do that. I know that from the features that it does have. So, yeah, get you one of these. Don't back into people at red lights going in the opposite direction, and you will be good. Save you a bunch of money in your pocket. So that's all I got to say about that. Now I got to watch this Range Rover, because are they about to pull over and swap information? Lost my train of thought. But to sum things up, phenomenal value, stylish, just a great car that you can enjoy for a long time, not spend a lot of money. This is this coasting I'm talking about. I haven't had my foot on the pedal for like the last 20 seconds, and I only dropped down like 5 miles an hour. So you can do one of those hypermiling things. Hey, should I got one of these over my Prius? And then they're willing to deal too. Like, the financing is good at Kia, and they're willing to haggle. Unlike some of the Japanese competitors, which they won't haggle unless you're Nissan. But Nissan they axed off a couple of cars. They do have the Sentra, which competes directly with this, but they axed off the Altima. They don't have the Versa, which would be the size above and below this. So Kia's got something for every flavor, everybody. Like I said, I can't say any more else good about this. So that's all I got to say about that. If you got any questions, drop a comment, let me know. I'm Q, checking out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Don't hit this Saturn View like that Range Rover did. What was this feature doing? Were they broken? Electrical issues. Those British cars. Boy, I tell you. Drive safe. And I will catch you all in the next video. Peace out.